Welcome to the Last Stop Sports Talk Draft Brothers. Today is April 13th, 2024, and we have 12 days until the NFL Draft. Here on episode 1, I'm joined by Kian and Cody Crop to start our scouting reports off with the quarterbacks.
Yeah, we're going to be going through the just like a little analysis and how we feel about each of these top 3 quarterbacks is what we're going to start with here. So it'll be Caleb Williams, Drake Maye, and Jayden Daniels. We're doing all these guys together just because they're kind of tiered together a lot. Like, obviously, Caleb Williams is projected to go number 1 and has been for quite some time. But we just want to be able to explain how we feel about each of these guys, give our analysis, and then kind of how they compare, because there are areas where they are similar and there are areas where they are very, very different. So let's get it started here. So first guy we're going to be talking about is Caleb Williams out of USC. His height and weight that he measured in at the combine is 6'1", 214 pounds. Right now he is 22.4 years old. In 2023, he passed for 3,633 passing yards, 68.6 completion percentage, 30 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and on the ground, he rushed for 356 rush yards, 11 rushing touchdowns, and had 16 fumbles. He is ranked first overall on the consensus big board that is on NFL mock draft database, and right now, he is projected to go first overall in the NFL draft to the Bears, and that, like I said, it's been that way for quite some time.
Yeah, so we'll start us off with the positives here. Obviously, this is a guy that obviously has all the tools. All tools are there, very athletic, and he's shown that he has a great football IQ and sense. He's shown great creativity, which teams are looking for now after Mahomes has set the league on fire. Great arm talent, adjustability. He can adjust his throwing angles. Super quick release, so he's going to be good in the short game. Kind of looks like Aaron Rodgers in that sense. And he's played on a bad team, so he hasn't really had great structure around him, so it's not like he can really rely on his run game or anything like that. And then he didn't get a whole lot of help from his receivers like he would in the NFL.
No, he definitely did not. I guess, yeah, while we're talking about the positives, I feel like the main thing that you hear about Caleb Williams all the time is the Mahomes comp.
He's so Mahomey.
The Mahomes comp is all you hear. What he kind of looks like is that he's got like whenever I was watching him, one of the first things I noticed is that he's got a long torso. He's got like a long torso, short legs. Mm-hmm. He looks like he looks like a long torso, short legs version of Patrick Mahomes, but he's more athletic and quick.
More athletic, yeah. But like I think the Mahomes comes into like arm talent comparison.
Yes.
Because like he'll just drop back and huck a 55-yard pass off his back foot.
Yeah, easy,
no issue.
Easy.
Yeah,
and just the improvisation. Like whenever he doesn't find any open receivers downfield, or if he is feeling a rush coming, he just like quickly scans the O line and then just dances around the pocket. But whenever he's like dancing around the pocket, why I said he's like quicker than Mahomes, he's got some insanely quick jukes that I saw. Just like to evade these rushers, he's just like juking to the side real quick and just very bouncy in the pocket while keeping his eyes down the field to throw to some receivers if they break open. Which he's creating like 5 seconds of time.
Speaking on the pocket before you get too far off of that, that's kind of one of my things I noticed too. It seems like he's got good pocket awareness, pocket presence. He feels the rush. He knows when he needs to get out.
He does.
And get out of the way and either roll out, make a pass, or roll out and just take it himself. Like you were talking about scanning. I noticed that too.
Athletically, I think he's closer to Kyler Murray than he is Mahomes.
Oh,
I agree.
Yeah.
He's more athletic than Mahomes.
Yeah, so like he looks like Mahomes whenever he's improvising, but he's quicker and shiftier in that sense is what I meant by the is where I think the Mahomes comp comes from.
Even though he's so athletic, he still, to me, it looks like he still looks to throw it. Like, and when he's rolling out, he looks to make that pass instead of just immediately. If he can run. Yeah, he's a very talented runner, but he doesn't immediately look to it.
He's always keeping his eyes down the field.
Yeah. That'll work good in the NFL.
Yeah, that is one thing that I was impressed with about the big arm thing. He can launch it, but I guess the way that I define he does have a big arm to throw deep balls. Mm-hmm. I will not take that away from him. But he doesn't make it look effortless. Like whenever whenever you watch Anthony Richardson or Will Levis or Joe Milton whip the ball down the field, that shit is flying out of their hand. That is flick of the wrist. Yeah. Flick of the wrist. It is going 70 yards down the field. Whereas whenever Caleb Williams kind of has to wind up more.
Yeah, he works it. Yep.
Like it still works, but it just takes longer to get out of his hand.
Agreed.
But And whenever I was watching his deep balls, I found that he doesn't always hit his receivers in stride deep. Many times it looks like the receivers have to adjust, even if it's just slightly, which like stuff like that matters. But I feel like that comes from whenever you're taking that little crow hop to throw it deep, you got to adjust your timing.
Yep.
Whereas like Joe Milton, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, those guys can just like no crow hop, just whip it up, and there's no timing adjustment between
flick
whenever,
flick of the wrist, just like Aaron Rodgers. That's what he's known for.
Yeah.
Just flick of the wrist.
Flick of the wrist, and it's gone. Yeah, but
and most times those other guys are throwing in rhythm because that's the play. Whereas Caleb Williams, it's more like he rolls out and then they're running out, out and up, and then so it's not really more of a timing thing. It's more improvisation. So
you just have to hope that your receiver's on the same page as you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I would say, Carson, you want to touch on something else? Anything else in the positives that you wrote?
One more. I'll talk about his running.
Yeah.
I did. One of the first things I noticed when he is running, obviously very athletic, quick, elusive, all that stuff. But I'm like, man, when he runs, he's not the biggest. He's 6'1", 214. It's good size. But like whenever he runs,
he's compact.
He's not afraid to lower that shoulder.
No,
I mean, he'll run someone over.
Yeah.
He's not going to slide all the time, which might hurt him, but I personally like it. I love that play style. Just run someone over, get an extra yard or two. Yeah. Like, he's smart about it, but he's not afraid of getting some contact downfield.
No, he's definitely not. Yeah, he can scramble, and he does sometimes, like you said.
He's kind of got a Josh Allen style of run.
A little bit. And I think he's kind of shifty, too. Like I said, he's got that, like, very quick feet, quick juke with those short little legs and the long torso. He's got those quick feet. So, but he's also, while we're talking a little bit about running, kind of, whenever he's throwing on the run, this guy is insane at it. Like
cross body,
just accuracy is crazy whenever he's throwing on the run. I was very impressed with that. Like that's something that guys in the NFL have to do pretty frequently because you're running away from edge defenders that are coming at you who can run like a 4.5. So you got to be able to throw on the run. So that was very impressive. I would say that he's not there are some guys in this class and every class who what I would consider a fastball thrower. Every single pass that they throw is a rocket. Yep. Sam Howell, Baker Mayfield, these guys just throw rockets. They have very minimal touch on the ball. But Caleb Williams has that touch. He can lob it over defenders. He's I was impressed in that sense.
Yeah, great sense for the game, football IQ.
Yeah.
But going back to the running thing, I wouldn't consider him a true dual threat.
No. Yeah, that's not what we're saying. No, he's not he's not Lamar Jackson.
He's got the ability to run.
Third down, if he has to get it, he can, but he's not going to.
He doesn't look to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or rely on it.
Want to go into negatives, Carson?
I know. I would love to.
Carson's very passionate.
Yeah.
First of all, I'd just say that it's kind of hard to see how he's going to translate to the NFL because of this offense, this Lincoln Riley offense that he's in. And that's also a similar problem that Kyler Murray had and those other quarterbacks that came from here where the offense is for the quarterback to do it himself and make plays. And it's not really like a timing, go through your progressions offense. So I don't know how well he's going to do in a structured offense in the NFL. And it also depends how the Bears structure the offense around him. Because in college, you see him try to play hero ball too much. And you can see that with his 16 fumbles and 5 interceptions where 16 fumbles
That's crazy. 16 fumbles.
They come from him trying to escape the pocket and him holding the ball out in his hand rather than tucking it, still trying to make plays. And also he doesn't have the best decision making sometimes. But that also comes from him trying to play hero ball. And then maneuvering the pocket, he's great at it, but sometimes I think he creates his own pressure because sometimes he gets antsy. He feels a rush coming a little bit. He doesn't trust his blockers, and he runs into his own pressure. So then he's forced to get out of the pocket and sometimes leaves the pocket too soon, in my opinion. His footwork, from a footwork perspective, like quarterback coaches, his footwork is very sloppy. But that's also another product of the not really structured offense.
Yeah.
And sometimes he also looks anxious and indecisive in the pocket.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Like he does, if he looks at one guy, and if he's not there, then he gets out of the pocket, which I understand because that's what he's best at. But once again, NFL, I don't think it's going to work for him too great. He needs to adjust to an NFL system and needs some good quarterback coaches and some good structure around him to succeed and learn how to do it the right way.
I completely agree. One of the notes that I had on him, the negatives, is that he seems more comfortable outside of the pocket.
for sure.
Mm-hmm. Like I don't know if he just gets antsy by seeing those big dudes in front of him coming at him. But there are times where he, like you said, he creates his own pressure or he runs out of the pocket whenever there is nobody rushing him. And that can be a problem because in the NFL, obviously those 5 offensive linemen in front of you, their whole job is to keep the dudes that are the edge rushers and the defensive tackles who are rushing at them. Their job is to keep those guys from getting to the quarterback who they expect to be behind them. They can't be turning their head behind them to check where the quarterback is. So if you're running out of the pocket, you're putting the offensive line at a disadvantage. Then that gives if the guys, so the edge rushers obviously they can see where the quarterback's going, so they can adjust and it's just like run to the side and go get Caleb Williams, which is rough. It's worse for the wide receivers because they have less time to get open because the edge rushers can get to Caleb Williams faster, and it just could cause problems for sure.
And inconsistencies in timing because. Like, normally quarterbacks have 3-step hitch or 5-step hitch, and he has snap the ball, hop step, shuffle. Shoulders are squared up. He's not ready to throw.
Yeah.
Then he sees someone, so he has to set and throw, or he doesn't see one, so he just runs out. And it's just something he'll have to learn.
Yeah, because then, going right off that, and then whenever he would get antsy and tries to throw the ball downfield, I noticed on some of his throws downfield, he kind of gets careless. Is kind of what I see on some of them, and immediately what I thought about is I'm like, oh man, an NFL corner is gonna, he's gonna eat on those throws.
Yeah, that's kind of the hero ball I was talking about as well.
Like corners are gonna eat.
Just picking on those terrible college corners.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's. I don't know where I was gonna go with that. I was gonna say something and I lost it. I'll get it back. I found it. Okay. I think Caleb Williams. What we're trying to sum it up, we're not really trying to. I'm personally not trying to say that he shouldn't be the number 1 pick. I do think that he still possesses the talent and the abilities and the potential to be the number 1 pick, and I think that he can be a great quarterback. But right now, I see quite a few flaws that kind of scare me. Yeah, the great is great, but like the game that Caleb Williams plays is only played by Patrick Mahomes in the NFL. Every other quarterback in the NFL basically does not play that way. Yep. Like, Kyler Murray played this way in college, but he doesn't as much anymore. He still does to a point, but, like, nobody plays this game this way as much as Patrick Mahomes. So, like, we've only really seen one and a half different versions of this, like, if you want to count Kyler Murray. But, like, other than that, we don't know how successful this style of play can be for somebody who's not Patrick Mahomes. Like we said, we do think he's athletic, so he can have that improvisation ability. But it's just he needs to be able to play in structure. Like, he needs to prove that he can play in an NFL offense first before I think he should be allowed to just, hey, I'm going to do my own thing. I expect my receivers to know. Like, I think year 1 might not be as good as people expect because the receivers are not going to be on the same page as him, as like the guys who've played with him at USC the past 2 seasons. Like, it takes time to build that rapport. And he's just not going to have that going in as a rookie. Like yes, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore are great receivers, but still, you don't know what Caleb Williams is thinking.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say too. Is luckily he's blessed with having. I mean, if he goes to the Bears, which everyone believes he is, but luckily he's got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, good vets that their catch radius seems to be a half a mile.
Yeah.
So like they'll be able to help him out quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, they aren't going to solve all the issues.
Yeah. For a first-round pick, this would be an amazing situation that he goes into compared to normally what first-round picks go
Great
into.
Situation.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's pretty much like getting picked at number 9 because that's where their pick should be, but they have Carolina's pick, so he gets to go to a much better situation.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And as for off-the-field issues, I don't think we're really going to talk about that because, I mean, it's all hearsay and he said, she said, but I mean, there's been reports that he's kind of a diva and does his own thing, and it's really hard to say because
I find a lot of that stuff just hard to believe. Just because, like, it says Caleb Williams camp for a lot of this stuff. Like, who's that? Who's Caleb Williams camp? I don't know. It's hard to pick through.
Yeah. Move on to the next guy.
Yep. Let's do it.
All right. And we might circle back around to these guys just to kind of say how they compare, like I said.
Wrap up.
Caleb Williams is my guy for anybody?
Negative.
Nope.
Okay, me neither. Okay, moving on to Drake Maye, quarterback out of North Carolina. He measured in at the combine at 6'4", 223 pounds. Right now, he is 21.6 years old. His 2023 season stats consisted of 3,608 passing yards, 63.3 completion percentage, 24 passing touchdowns, 9 interceptions. On the ground, he rushed for 582 rushing yards, 9 rushing touchdowns, and only 3 fumbles compared to Caleb Williams' 16. Drake Maye right now is ranked 2nd overall on the consensus big board, and right now on the consensus mock draft, he's projected to go 3rd overall to the Patriots. Cody, you want to start us on this one?
Sure, let's do it. So, he's got arm talent too. He's a big guy. He can sling it. 50-yard balls on the run. Like, he's got the talent. Like, he's kind of got more of that. He makes the throws look easier than Caleb Williams to compare it to him. Like, he'll throw a 55-yard ball pretty simply. Like, pretty easy, flick of the wrist. Pretty quick release. Like, even in not a huge throwing motion, not nice and quick. Just kind of standard, like, throwing motion up and out with the ball. He looks comfortable in the pocket. Like, he looks more comfortable than Caleb Williams to me. Comfortable in the pocket. He'll stand in there, take hits, and get the ball out to his receivers. He's not really – I mean, he had 500-some rush yards, so he's got running talent. But he's not – that's definitely not his big game at all. He moves well, and it's obviously athletic, big, but he's not super quick, jukey, or anything like that. But he can get it done. Also can lay some hits too if he needs to. But he also, for his throws too, he's got a good range in as far as he'll throw a dart if it needs to get there quick. He'll throw a dart, but he's also to me it looks like he had some nice touch on some of his passes too. Like, he can lob it and get it in a bucket for somebody if need be. Pretty accurate and good at even the off balance too. If he's in the pocket trying to get out and leaning or on his back foot, he's pretty good with his throws too. He's also got some of those things, kind of like Patrick Mahomes. Like, there were some of his highlights that he'll toss it left-handed or something like that when he's getting drug on his right and things like that.
That one touchdown he threw left-handed.
Yeah.
If Mahomes would have done that, the world would
have been on fire.
Would have shut down for a couple days. Government would have gave out money to everybody. It's a national holiday. Praise the Lord, Mahomes has saved the world. He threw it left-handed for a touchdown. But only imagine if it would have been to Travis Kelce.
But yeah, I kind of noticed that too. Like, that left-handed throw, he'll do the short ball flips if he needs to, and short passes when he's falling over and everything like that. And he tries to, even when he's getting wrapped up, tackled, he'll keep his eyes up and look for those guys and make those crazy plays. He's got good athleticism.
Kian, you have any positives?
Yeah. Drake Maye feels more like the quarterback that, if a 65-year-old man was watching this, he'd be like, nah, that's a quarterback.
Yes.
He just he's
big,
a guy.
Yeah.
Big guy. Likes to just stay in the pocket. Like, what I wrote is that he prefers to stay in the pocket to make the pass and slightly shift to one side or another to evade the rushers if need be. He's not always looking down at the line and looking to scramble. Now, he did have 582 rushing yards this season. Now that all of the should have touched on this at the beginning, but all of these rushing yards on these quarterbacks that I give you guys, they're all sacks removed, because I hate how with college rushing yards they include the sack yardage and how many yards they lost on the sack. So this is all sack yardage removed. This is how many yards they actually rushed forward for past the line of scrimmage, which is, I feel like, what matters. But 582 rushing yards, 9 rushing touchdowns. With his size, they used him a lot in the red zone to just be like that bully, lower your shoulder and get into the end zone for QB keepers. Yes. I would say that he's got some nice touch. He's just enough air to put underneath the ball to put it right over defenders' heads. He's very good at that, I would say. He's another one that has to he's got a big arm too. But I would say it still didn't really look like me that it was like Joe Milton level. Now, comparing everybody to Joe Milton is unfair because this guy throws it 80 yards down the field effortlessly. But Drake Maye, I think he does have a bigger arm than Caleb Williams, like Cody said. But yeah, I think that he's just a stereotypical quarterback, big guy with He's got a pretty good arm, and he's probably willing to make the play for you if you need to. He'll lower that shoulder. Even though he got 582 rushing yards, he's not a dual threat QB. There are a lot of like draft analysts that talk about like, hey, Drake Maye is like athletic too. It's like, yeah, but you're not going to include this guy in the run game.
No.
He's not going to be doing read options like you would with Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray. Like you're not going to like, yes, he's mobile. Yeah, he has legs. Okay, he's not going to be standing back there like a end stage Ben Roethlisberger and like be scared to run. Well, even he ran a little bit. It wasn't pretty to watch.
He's like a Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert level.
Yes,
athletic.
yeah, we talked about it on the Made Pod. He's like think about Justin Herbert's level of rushing, Trevor Lawrence's level of rushing. That's basically what you're going to get out of Drake Maye. It might be like 350 yards a season,
probably.
Like maybe if you're lucky, like 30 yards a game. That's more. That's more than.
That's not great math.
That's terrible math, actually. Like 20 yards a game.
Yeah, like I could see him being involved in some keepers, either up the gut or like, hey, 3rd and 2, we need it. I'm just going to take it.
Yes, short yardage in the red zone.
Yeah,
get the 3rd down.
Yes.
Yep. Chains.
Yep.
Carson, you got anything? Any positives?
I mean, I really hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but actually, I kind of love it. But so this is a guy. He does show playmaking potential, and granted, he does have a bad team around him, but. I mean, this is a guy that he regularly misses throws. Pretty simple throws, too. And doesn't look like a natural runner. I mean, he's kind of upright, a little stiff.
He's right. He runs very straight up.
Yeah. And also, like Caleb Williams, I think he tries to play hero ball too much, probably because of the bad team around him. And for this reason, he doesn't really dink and dunk much. So I was looking to throw deep or get the big gain, and he won't just check it down. In my opinion, I think he has a long and slow throwing motion, but that could just be because he is 6'4", so he has a longer way to go.
Longer arm.
Yeah, tries to force the ball into places that shouldn't be. You guys talked about his pocket maneuverability. To me, I think he looks uncomfortable in the pocket.
I think he's more comfortable than Caleb Williams, though.
I think he looks anxious and looks like he's just ready to get the ball out of his hands. He's definitely raw. He needs some coaching in all these regards. Inconsistent, like I talked about those throws, and often he telegraphs his throws. He'll stare the guy down, show the whole defense where he's going. Quickly moves off his reads, though. Moves off his reads and then tries to make something else happen, usually throwing the ball deep down the field. And in my opinion, I don't think he's worth top 5 draft capital.
Oh, wow.
Taking a chance.
I like these.
He's kind of like I see him as a Josh Rosen.
Oh, wow. Man.
Yeah, but see, Josh Rosen at least started a couple of years, so I don't know if I can say that about Drake Maye. Terrible under pressure. PFF shows that. And, I mean, once defensive coordinators figure him out, it's game over unless some NFL team can get a good quarterback coach in there and coach him up.
Wow. Yeah, I also have some negatives on Drake Maye. I feel like he does have more accuracy. I feel like he's in the middle. I don't feel like he's as great as Cody's accuracy says he is, or as bad as yours says he is. I think he can drop some passes into a bucket, but there are some passes whenever I was watching him that it's just like, where the hell were you throwing that? It's like
you'll have that.
Like there's sometimes where it's almost like, do you just get hit in the head on that last play? And then like he's like bad for a couple plays, and then like he goes back to being pretty good. But like there are some plays where it's like, what the hell just happened? Like, what were you looking at? And there's like he loses a touch on the ball sometimes, but
I think that's part of the panic, like the pocket uncomfortability that I talked about.
That very well could be, and I think the inconsistency really wraps it up. I think inconsistency is a good word to explain him, but like the reason why everybody gets so excited about Drake Maye is because he shows the tools. He's got that like the stereotypical quarterback size that you want. He's got the mobility. I mean, size. He has size.
Thing that makes me angry. People value size in a quarterback way too much.
Oh, I agree.
If Drake Maye was
Isaac,
if Drake Maye was 6'1", he would probably be below JJ McCarthy. But because he's 6'4", people think he's gonna. I mean, look at all the quarterbacks in the NFL. They're all not that big. Mahomes, 6'1" or 6'2". Josh Allen is big. Joe Burrow isn't that. What's Joe Burrow? 6'2",
probably
maybe.
6'2".
Yeah, I think 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, there's great quarterbacks that. Drew Brees was great. Aaron Rodgers is great. Yeah, I just think
Tom Brady. Yeah, obviously.
Tom Brady was 6'3".
Yeah, he's up there a little bit.
People like size way too much, in my opinion. But they just like that big frame, but if he doesn't have it between the ears, then it doesn't matter. And another comparison that I have here is Daniel Jones, but less athletic. Because he has those same boneheaded throws. You're like, Daniel.
What the hell?
Yeah. Come on, Daniel.
I'll just come out and say Drake Maye was not on my guy, and that whenever I watched him, I wasn't really impressed.
Seems like with Drake Maye, it's either love or hate. Because I know I hate him, but
I wouldn't say I hate him, but
I do hate him. I just think I think there's some scouts out there that I've seen that love him. Like for a while there, I think it was last year when he was going off with Josh Downs. He was ranked number 1 overall, above Caleb Williams. And, he's definitely had highs, great highs, but his lows just outweigh the highs for me. So I'm out.
Cody, you want to touch on anything?
I'm a fan of him. I wouldn't say I love him, but like I'm a fan of him. But I kind of.
Hey, if you love the guy, be bold. Like don't let us change your takes.
I don't love the guy.
Okay.
There's a lot to develop, and I think it's going to depend on. He feels like it's really going to depend on what situation he goes into.
Yes.
And how he's coached to develop into a quarterback, and how he can get rid of some of those negatives that you're talking about. So I think that's going to be important for him. The first few years may be important in his career for how the rest of his career goes. But I can see him being a long-term guy. Will he turn into a backup? Yeah, possibly. Because, I agree. He's not special. But I think he's got the tools to be able to be developed. But it's just, is he going to be developed by some good coach, good situation? Like, if he goes to the Patriots, makes me a little nervous, to be honest, just because everything they got going on there.
Yeah.
A little instability and everything, but I don't know. I like the guy. I'd probably fall into that category of old school, liking the big quarterback, big body.
Yeah.
I'm a Steelers fan, grew up with Big Ben. I mean,
yeah.
I can't help it. I like the guy to have size and durability. But yeah, he doesn't have as many tools especially in the running game as like a Caleb Williams or Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson or sometimes even Mahomes. I mean, he's got some wiggle, but
he's definitely got wiggle.
Yeah.
We're talking about Mahomes?
Yeah, he's shaking. He's wiggling everywhere.
Wiggling in his belly, yeah.
He's got wiggle. But no, I don't know. I like the guy. I wouldn't call him my guy, but I'm excited to see what he does in the league.
I think one thing that scouts and GMs of the NFL scout a lot differently than they see things differently than mostly anybody, especially me, and I'm sure you guys too. Scouts value size and they value build like that. Like think about Josh Allen. Josh Allen was not deserving to be, what was he, like a top 5 pick or something? Like one of the reasons why Josh Allen.
3? I don't know. Either way, he was up there. Yeah. Josh Allen. And he needed development as well, obviously.
Yeah, and the reason why he kept getting these shots and the reason why Daniel Jones has kept being given these shots is because they possess the tools. Mm-hmm. The scouts like to use that term, the tools, because he has the ability. He's got some rushing ability. He's got a pretty good arm. Well, that doesn't really apply to Daniel Jones. But Daniel Jones has rushing ability. But Josh Allen has shown tools, and that's why he sucked. What was his first 2-3 years? Was it?
2.
It clicked in year 3.
Yeah,
when he got Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, it clicked in year 3, but he was pretty darn bad those first 2 years, but these coaches, they see the tools, and so they're just going to keep giving him shots. So I think that Drake Maye, whether we agree with it or not, he's going to keep being given a shot.
Yeah, and I think he will too, instead of being moved off by some of these old heads.
Josh Allen was 7th overall.
Okay, 7th. I think the reason I would kind of like the Patriots' destination for Maye is because of Drake Maye. He's a player coach.
Yeah, that's true.
So he kind of might understand a little bit more and give him more shots.
Yeah,
and something like that. But also, I guess another thing I forgot about Drake Maye that also makes me kind of like him a bit more. I think he's a guy. He chose to stay at North Carolina.
He did.
I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. So I like that. It seems like he's got it between the ears, and just everything I hear. I mean, sounds like good family around him, good guy, and so he comes from a good situation. I think he's got it between the ears, and that's a big thing. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's big nowadays.
Yeah, his brother was a good basketball player at North Carolina for a while.
Yeah. March Madness hero.
Yeah, so
Luke Maye.
Drake Maye, he could be very similar to Josh Allen in the aspect that Josh Allen was terrible until he got a true number one receiver in Stephon Diggs.
I could see that.
Because Drake Maye, his sophomore year, he was excellent with Josh Downs when he had a true number one receiver. This year, he had Devontae Walker, which, I mean, we'll scout him later, but he's fast, and that's pretty much the end of the list.
About it, yeah.
So, I mean, you see what he does in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, and this Senior Bowl, he couldn't catch a thing.
Bowl. Yeah, he was terrible.
I don't know what happened.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Drake Maye didn't look good, but with a true number one receiver, he could be great again, just like he was with Josh Downs.
Yep,
I can see
that. That could be all it is.
Yeah,
but at the same time, maybe he just needs Josh Downs there because he would stare at him, and Josh Downs had the ability to always get open.
Yeah.
Whereas Devontae Walker just ran down the field, and
vertical deep threat.
Yeah, he was the only guy he wanted to throw it to. So
he'll have decent options at the Patriots. I mean, not great.
I'm a fan of Demario Douglas.
Yeah, Demario Douglas, and I mean he's got, in my opinion, old reliable Juju Smith-Schuster. He's still there.
Kendrick Bourne is solid. Kendrick Bourne is solid.
Very solid.
Yeah, so like they aren't burners at the Patriots, but they're good. They're decent options that may help him. Probably better than what he's had in North Carolina. Yeah. Like they're NFL talent, proven.
Yeah, I will never doubt. Demario Douglas was my guy for me last year.
Yeah.
Before we started the podcast, I still did scouting and everything. Demario Douglas was my guy for me, and I watched him. He went to Liberty. He played with Malik Willis. If he can make Malik Willis look good, I'm gonna buy into Demario Douglas.
Yeah.
He was impressive. But I feel like Gerard Mayo, because he's a player coach and he sees how bad the team is around him, maybe he'd be giving Drake Maye more opportunities to succeed, but I don't know. The blame always falls on the quarterback.
Oh yeah.
Either way, if you're a top 3 pick, I feel like you have at least 2 years of chances given you.
You're gonna have a pretty good leash on you.
Yeah. And Drake Maye just seems like a Patriots quarterback to me.
He does.
Yeah.
He fits that Tom Brady mold, and then
Robert Kraft is gonna love him, I'm sure.
He will. Because he's not like a Malik Willis or Malik Cunningham.
No.
They didn't even give him a chance.
Give him a chance.
No, they kept the Corvette in the garage.
I mean, proven loyal guy. Yeah. I mean, if he gets into New England's gonna love him. Yeah. Just for that reason too. I think he fits good.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Jayden Daniels out of LSU. At the Combine, he measured in at 6'4", 210 pounds. 210 pounds is crazy if you ever watched any of his film because he does not look like that. Does not look like 210 pounds. He is 23.3 years old, so older than both of the past two guys. In 2023, he won the Heisman. He passed for 3,812 passing yards, 72.2% completion percentage, 40 passing touchdowns, only 4 interceptions on the ground. Taking out sacks, he rushed for 1,250 rushing yards, 10 rushing touchdowns, and only 3 fumbles. He's right now ranked 4th overall on the consensus big board, and he is projected to go 2nd overall in the NFL draft to the Commanders on the consensus mock draft.
We got a my guy here.
Oh, me too. I completely agree.
We got a my guy.
He's a my guy for me
goodness.
too.
Let me just start off by saying, of course, the highlights are going to be good because he just won the Heisman.
Yeah.
But my goodness, is this guy good. He has a great flicky whippy arm.
Oh my gosh.
He has effortless flicks and throws. Very, very fast linear speed.
Oh yeah.
He escapes the pocket with explosion and decisiveness. He can feel the pocket, and when he wants to go, when he feels it's time to go, he goes.
Oh my gosh, he's gone.
He hits the hole harder than some running backs when he goes.
Yeah.
Effortless, quick release with good power.
Very quick release.
And
dude, that's like the quickest. He might have the quickest release I've ever seen.
Aside from Aaron Rodgers, to me, Aaron Rodgers still has that flick, but
just impressive. Oh my god,
gets that ball out of there.
And I think a big part of that is, if you guys watch his footwork, you guys don't seem to be as much into footwork as I am.
I watch it.
I'm big into footwork.
You're a big foot guy.
I'm big.
Oh wait.
His feet, he can throw deep with just a little short baby step.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to take that big lunge like some other quarterbacks do. He just has a quick little step, quick little flick, and the ball is out.
He doesn't have a cannon though.
No.
It's not a cannon. It's just like a smooth throwing motion. It's like the way that he's built. It reminds me of like a noodle. Like I don't know. You'll be able to see it on YouTube. But I'm not gonna be able to talk whenever I say this. But
Yeah.
It's
like the dealership.
The dealership thing.
The dealership.
That's exactly what
or
it's like.
A spring. Like you hit a.
Yes.
You hit like a.
That's more.
Door stopper.
The door stopper.
That's a better analogy because the spring is quicker.
But like I wrote that down too. Average arm strength, but very smooth.
Yeah.
Like smooth thrower.
Very smooth.
Yep.
Smooth power, but it's not smooth 60-yard power. It's like smooth 50-yard power.
Yep. I could watch this guy throw all day. It's just like aesthetically pleasing.
It is.
Forget the elbow thing. I don't give a shit about the elbow. Like
ball placement. Pretty great in my opinion, but I mean he does have great receivers that can adjust to the ball for him. So, in an empty set, this guy's lethal. My goodness, he's lethal. Just give him an empty set, third down, he'll get it done. Good timing and rhythm on all throws. That could be because he has all that experience, and LSU is known to be a good system with good receivers, but his timing and rhythm are amazing. Comfortable and decisive in the pocket. He can sit in the pocket, go through his reads, and when it's time to go, he goes, feels the pocket well, feels how much time he has well. And I just think he has a high football IQ because I think he reads the defenses well and recognizes opportunities, like I talked about getting out of the pocket.
Yeah, I'll touch on him next because Jayden Daniels is also my guy for me. Me and Carson talked about this a few weeks ago about who my guys were just because we were excited to talk quarterbacks, and me and Carson think very similarly about quarterbacks, which is kind of unfortunate. So I'm hoping Cody brings some different opinions.
Yeah, I wish Cody would like Drake Maye a little more.
I do. I'm definitely higher than you guys on him, but I'm not bullish enough to take him as a my guy.
The way that
But I'm very, very excited to see him because, like I said, I'm that old school type.
Yeah.
I like Big Ben type.
Yeah.
Kind of not like.
Need him to eat a few cheeseburgers then.
I'm hoping he just bulks up a little more. Anyways, back to Jayden Daniels.
I guess the way that I just scout guys is that I scout guys. If you're my guy, you're somebody who like gets me excited. No, I'm not in that way. Not in that way. But like you just like
gets the people going.
These guys, I just feel like the guys that I deem my guys are guys that I feel can be difference makers in the NFL. I feel like they can be something that we haven't really seen or something that can succeed in the NFL and be special. So I feel like Jayden Daniels can be special, but he is super skinny. I think that he's like 6'4", 210 at the combine, but I think he plays more at like 185.
Yeah, way he's 210.
He's his very small frame, which kind of is scary as far as like health standpoint. Like, dude needs to learn how to slide, but I don't care as much about injuries because I know if this guy's on the field, he's going to be special.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but like immediately whenever I go to watch him, I'm like, oh, that's like Lamar or Fields type.
Yeah.
Like obviously.
Yeah.
Like that's like difference maker.
Right.
Yeah.
My quarterback comparison here is Lamar Jackson, but looks to throw first.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
If he didn't have his dual threat capability, I would think he'd still be great.
Yeah.
Just his pocket passer ability alone is great, but then just that now that he's a true dual threat and he's Lamar with a little less shiftiness, more linear speed, it's amazing.
It is amazing.
Maybe.
Go ahead. Well, how do you feel about his arm?
Oh, I like his arm and his talent.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go as far to say, oh, he's great if he's going to be kept in the pocket.
I have him as the second best pocket passer in this class.
What? You must feel better about his arm strength than I do. His arm strength kind of scares me a little bit.
I wouldn't see him top 2. But
I think his accuracy though is I love his accuracy. Arm strength is a little bit lacking, but dude can just there are so many passes where he had just an accurate over-the-shoulder lob over defenders where only his receiver can get it. Like, it doesn't matter who the receiver is. That receiver could be Calvin Austin out there. It could be a terrible receiver. It could be just me running down the field. I know that he could put it in a bucket over my shoulder. I'd probably drop it.
He throws a very catchable ball.
Oh,
I love when people use that term, but he does. He throws a very catchable ball.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah.
He really does. He's kind of like more of a little bit more of a moon ball thrower, but like the ball doesn't hang in the air too long. Yep. Like there are some quarterbacks where like the ball just hangs in the air too long for whatever reason, but he's just like perfect touch, I would say.
Good timing.
He doesn't throw on the run very often, but whenever he does, he's noticeably weaker. There are some guys where like their arm doesn't really falter too much. Like Caleb Williams doesn't really lose a whole lot of arm strength, but like Jayden Daniels does lose some arm strength.
Yeah, you aren't going to see Jayden Daniels roll to his left, throw it back across the field 40 yards downfield because
yeah.
that would obviously be a long throw. Like that's not it. That's not his MO. That's not where he's
That's
strong.
not his game at all.
Yeah.
He's like I said, he's not going to throw on the run very often because if he's out of the pocket, he's probably looking to run. He's probably looking.
A lot of the times he doesn't escape the pocket out. He moves up in the pocket and then moves through a gap, which
I noticed that too. He'll step up and out.
Yeah. That's what's impressive to me about his running ability. Like there are a lot of quarterbacks who escape and go out and around the tackles, but there are times where he's just like he's looking to pass and all of a sudden, boom, he shoots through the line like a running back. Like he goes like in between a guard and a center or something. Like he's not going out and around wasting time. Dude is getting to the second level with the linebackers, and he can juke them out so easily. It's just impressive. But I don't think he always looks super comfortable in the pocket, but with him I don't really care because I know that whenever he's escaping the pocket, he's going to be very productive with what he's doing because like I said, he shoots through those gaps very easily and very decisively. He's not like if he's like, oh, somebody's coming at me, like boom, I'm gone. It's like there's no dancing around. Like Caleb Williams is kind of like dancing around. He's like, oh, I'm gonna make you miss, and he's like shimmying a little bit. He's like, oh, you want to come dance, big boy? And Caleb Williams is like, no, I'm gone.
Yeah,
like I'm already 20 yards down the field.
On that note too, I mean, I think he can. From what I saw, I think he can fall into maybe short-looking reads.
A little one-read thing?
Yes.
A little, yeah.
Like
I
one
saw
or
that a
two,
little
and then
bit,
he'll
too.
just be like, oh, I've got the talent. Obviously, he does, but I got the talent. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but like Lamar's proven it. Like it's good in the NFL, and like where the NFL is going. But that's the only thing that does
adjust.
Yeah, that's the only thing that makes me a little nervous, and injury risk too, because like it's different. I don't think he's got a big injury history.
Keep talking.
I didn't write that
a little
down.
bit of knees, I think.
Yeah, but either way, like I was going to compare him to like Anthony Richardson. He looks to run and
very
barrel.
Small, way
smaller. And Anthony Richardson kind of does that same thing. Not same thing, but he likes to run and get out and use his body, and that kind of got him into a little bit of trouble. Obviously, this past year, getting him out and hurting his shoulder. So that's the only thing. I think he can fall into that trap of maybe only looking to one or two reads, and then I wouldn't say getting scared, but getting a little, like you said, in the pocket,
squeamish.
a little bit anxious, and just getting out of there and using his big talent of his legs.
Only injury history he has is he's sprained his right ankle once in 2019 and once in 2022. That's
okay,
like on record.
Yeah, nothing big then.
Yeah, people say he takes big hits, but that's not a concern for me at all because it's very, very easy to learn to just slide.
Yeah. We hope. But I don't understand why it's so hard.
Yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield, he doesn't really learn to slide. But,
Anthony
or you
Richardson.
have a terrible slide. Like who? Someone has a terrible.
There is somebody.
A lot of people actually have pretty rough slides.
It's insane to me how like I'm
can
sure
be
a
so
lot
athletic,
of
but just,
I'm sure a lot of these quarterbacks in the NFL and in college probably grew up playing baseball. How do you not know how to slide? It's so simple.
I know. Yeah.
Like,
Apparently not.
I guess not.
So negatives?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not a lot of negatives here.
Oh man.
Not a lot of negatives here. So there are some inaccuracy mishaps on short, easy throws, just like the check downs.
Simple stuff.
Yeah, simple. Yeah, it's little things, and some may find it as a negative. After escaping the pocket, we've talked about this. He doesn't look to throw. He just looks to run. So he's not really going to be a guy that makes his teammates better. It's more just he creates for himself, and that's it. Not great velocity on the ball. We've talked about skinny frame, obviously, but I'm not too concerned. Other than sacks, but he's not really a guy that takes a lot of sacks.
No.
That's partially because one or two reads aren't there. He's gone. It's not like he's
shifty.
Yeah, he's not going to give up many coverage sacks. And then, lastly, the most encouraging thing for me here is if you watch Lamar Jackson's college tape compared to Jayden Daniels, it is light years different. How Jayden Daniels is much better passer than Lamar, and we see how far Lamar has come in his passing game.
Yeah.
So that only shows that Jayden Daniels can probably get better and hopefully put on some size and strength to get some more velocity behind that ball.
Yeah, the only thing that kind of worries me about his size is that it's not like he's been at LSU the past 2 seasons. It's not. I'm sure that LSU has a great strength and conditioning program. So like if he hasn't put on weight in these past 2 seasons, I'm kind of scared that this might be just who he is. And like that's fine. It's not like what I've said whenever Isaac has complained about quarterback size on the regular pod, which I don't care about size as a player in today's NFL, is that it's not like Jayden Daniels used to be like 250 pounds, and then he used to be playing at that. Like, he's played at this small weight his whole life, and he succeeded.
He only has one small ankle injury is very encouraging for that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but these guys in the NFL are bigger, faster, stronger, so he needs to desperately learn how to slide, because taking hits. We saw that Anthony Richardson at 240 pounds. It was getting hurt.
Yeah, and he's a unit.
He's got some bad shoulders. Guy has bad shoulders.
Quit leading with the head, Anthony.
Yeah.
But I am very, very excited to watch Jayden Daniels, because me and Carson both have him as a my guy. Cody, you have him as a my guy, or what do you think?
No, I mean, I like the guy.
Yeah.
I tend to think about what situation they're going to end up in, because I think that's huge.
That does matter.
If he goes to the Commanders,
I was just looking at their depth chart here. I don't hate it. I mean, running back room, I think he might be able to
depend on them a little bit more. They got Austin Eckler, which, like, he's older, but he's proven. Like, check down
guy or something like that.
And they got Brian Robinson, who's proven. I mean,
I would hope he can block.
Yeah, hopefully he can block, and I think he can be he can take those hits off of, like, instead of a QB keeper.
Yeah.
Just give it to Brian Robinson. He's a tank.
He's a battering ram.
Wide receiver wise, still got Scary Terry, but then it's kind of
Jahan Dropson.
Jahan Dropson and Jamison Crowder. So that's a little bit.
They brought in Olamide Zaccheaus.
Yeah, and they have Zach Ertz. I mean, not that that's a huge deal, but
he's there.
He's there.
He's a name on the roster.
As far as their line,
that makes me a little bit nervous.
Looks like they tried to upgrade.
I think they
brought in Allegretti. Wasn't he on the Chiefs?
Brought in Tyler Biotis from Dallas.
So those guys are pretty solid.
If this guy can't succeed behind this line, nobody can.
Yeah.
Not this guy, that guy.
That guy.
Yeah, no.
But that's what I think. I mean, I like the guy a lot. I'm super pumped to see him play, and I hope his talents carry over into the NFL. I really hope they do. Kind of same with Caleb Williams. I hope that he can play the same way in the NFL, because NFL is a different story, different players. You've got, instead of college guys chasing you, you've got TJ Watt. You've got Micah Parsons running you down. I mean, it's a different game.
Just speed of the game picks up. Yeah.
Yep. But I'm pumped to watch him. I'm excited for him.
For sure.
Comparing all these guys to each other, looking at ages here, so it's almost perfect. So Drake Maye, 21.6, almost a year older. Caleb Williams, 22.4, then almost a year older than that, Jayden Daniels at 23.3. Lots of people are concerned about age, but it doesn't really matter that much to me, because I
don't care
look
either.
at Jayden Daniels and Drake Maye here. So Jayden Daniels is like a year and a half older, just about year and 3/4. So let's just say they both played at 33. So that's 10 years for Jayden Daniels, 12 years for Drake Maye, 10 years for Jayden Daniels. The difference between 10 great years and 12 terrible years doesn't matter when you're terrible.
This strays.
It's either you're good or you're not.
I love it. I love it.
I think they just like to see the potential that they can have, because they're young and they're still learning. But if you're good and you're old, then especially at quarterback where they tend to play for a long time, I'm not concerned as to like running back where they have a much shorter shelf life.
Age, I don't really care either. I mean, maybe unless you're getting into 7 years of college and then coming out.
Dude's like 35 years old.
Stetson Bennett, Sean Clifford.
But I don't really care about age too much, but I think experience does come into play, like college experience. I think that
the thing that sets Jayden Daniels apart from Drake Maye and Caleb Williams is that Jayden Daniels only really had this 1 year of greatness, whereas Caleb Williams and Drake Maye have put 2 solid seasons back to back.
Yep.
And that's why people bash Jayden Daniels, like his age and this fact that he had one great, amazing season, but like they're scared that what if he goes back to what he was before, and
that is kind of a red flag to me.
But the way that I look at this, so like I'm what I would call an upside scout. It matters more to me to see that these guys have these abilities, to put them on tape. It matters more to me that it happened than it matters more to me that it happened than it matters that how often it happened or how that was really confusing.
It shows that the talent's there, so that hopefully NFL guys can get it out of them.
Yes, he might have only done this for 1 year, but it still happened. He still showed that he progressed to this level. So that's what matters to me. Like, yeah, maybe he didn't do it the first 4 years of college, but people get better. Players get better, and that matters.
Another knock for him is people say that he had great weapons around him, which he did.
Mm-hmm. For Jayden Daniels, you're talking about.
Yeah, Jayden Daniels. But honestly, I mean, with some quarterbacks that have come out of college, you could say this is a positive because they're more NFL ready and they have great receivers around them that they learned from. Like, look at Joe Burrow. Mm-hmm. He had that stacked Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase wide receiver room. Then he came into the NFL and he was great.
That's wild.
C.J. Stroud. He had JSN and Marvin Harrison and all those other great receivers around him. And he came in the NFL and he was ready right away and he did great. There's some other examples out there, but then, of course, there's examples where they haven't had anything around them, like Patrick Mahomes. Then they get developed in the NFL and then they're good. So I just think it means if they've had great receivers around them, they're just more NFL ready. And if not, then they just need more developing.
Yeah. I think that about wraps up this episode, right?
Yep. I think so.
Yeah, so we got more scouting to come after this.
We do.
We got 4 more quarterbacks, and then we have running backs, receivers, tight ends.
Yeah, defense.
Some defensive guys. So.
And then we're gonna at the end. Go ahead.
So then at the end of that, we're gonna declare our my guys officially. Maybe have some sleepers from each position that we like. Some guys that you can get later in the draft who are still gonna provide or have the chance to provide some great value. Anything else that I'm missing?
I don't think so. Yeah, we're gonna keep recording right after this and keep this going and give you guys some more takes, and these will all be uploaded as soon as I get them edited and uploaded. So, but definitely before the draft, we will have all these episodes ready for you guys to look at, and we hope you guys enjoy because we enjoy talking draft and getting our takes out there. So.
Absolutely.
Cody, anything?
No, that pretty much wraps it up.
All right, yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more, and we'll catch you on the next one.